How could two parents go about their day, cooking and serving food while their daughter lay hidden nearby? What really happened to little Ashley Zhao? It all began on January 9th, 2017, with a desperate 911 call. Ling Xiao, Ashley's father, reported his 5-year-old daughter missing. "I can't find my daughter," he told the police. When asked when he last saw her, he hesitated, mentioning it was around 4 or 5 p.m. Yet it was now hours later, and the realization that Ashley was truly missing began to sink in. The Jackson Township Police Department responded quickly, arriving at the family's Chinese restaurant while Ling was still on the call. As Ling met the officer at the door, the search for Ashley began immediately, with the police spreading out across the neighborhood, desperate to find her. But finding a missing person within the first 48 hours is crucial. After that, the likelihood of a safe recovery drops by nearly 50%. Ashley's disappearance left detectives with a narrow window of time and limited information. Although Ashley had last been seen at the restaurant, there was no sign of her on the security cameras. Had she simply wandered off, or could she have been taken? As fog and freezing temperatures complicated the search, the community grew increasingly concerned. Breaking news: a community shaken as Jackson Township Police search for missing 5-year-old Ashley Zhao, announced the local news. Days passed, and Ashley was still nowhere to be found. Officers combed through neighborhoods, local businesses, and every corner of the state, all while tension and fear grew. The police kept their hopes up. "We worked so hard on this case," one officer later shared, "and our only wish was to bring Ashley home alive." Friends and neighbors described Ashley as a bright, friendly child who loved to talk with customers at her family's restaurant. Despite her outgoing nature, no one had seen or heard from her. Finally, on the morning of January 10th, authorities issued a statewide endangered child alert. Police secured the restaurant while others continued the search. Some regular customers, devastated by the news, even searched on their own, driving around the neighborhood in hopes of spotting her. One person even said, "She's like family, we'll do whatever we can to help find her." After combing the entire area with no new leads, officers returned to the restaurant, determined to search every last corner. Their dread grew as they moved through each room and found nothing. Then, they approached the kitchen's walk-in freezer. Above it was a crawl space, a narrow, overlooked area. When they opened it, they found a large container filled with salt, and from that container, something unthinkable, a small hand was sticking out. The story of a missing child had just turned into a horrific crime scene. The police and community were speechless, traumatized by the reality that Ashley had been found, but not in the way anyone had hoped. The autopsy revealed that Ashley had suffered severe injuries to her head and body, and the evidence pointed to the unthinkable: her own family was responsible. But why? Why would parents turn on their own child? To understand this, we have to go back in time and dig into the troubled past of Ashley's parents. What could drive two parents, who once chased the American dream together, to such a dark place? How did their family bond turn so tragically toxic? It all began in the late 1990s, when Ling Xiao moved to America with big dreams. Starting his new life in New York City, Ling worked tirelessly at his family's restaurant, Lucky Star, in North Canton, Ohio. After years of hard work, he finally achieved U.S. citizen. In 2008, he met Ming Ming Chen, a Chinese immigrant with a complicated past. Unlike Ling, Ming Ming entered the U.S. illegally. She paid a staggering $220,000 to a smuggler to cross the border, traveling a dangerous route from China to Mexico, hiding in a truck until she reached Ohio. Once there, she applied for asylum, hoping to practice Falun Gong, a Chinese spiritual discipline. But in April 2008, a raid led to her arrest, and authorities detained her for a month. Inconsistent statements about her asylum claim only complicated her path, leaving her unsettled in America. Despite her struggles, in 2010, she and Ling got married. 7 months later, they welcomed their first daughter, Jojo. A year after, the couple opened a Chinese restaurant, Ang's Cuisine, which quickly gained a loyal customer base. On December 30th, 2011, they welcomed their second daughter, Ashley. The family seemed happy, but balancing work and caring for the children took a toll on them. To keep up with their demanding restaurant, they sent Jojo and Ashley to live with Ling's grandparents in New York for 2 years. When the girls returned, Ashley had changed. She often disobeyed her parents, creating stress and tension in the household. Frustrated, Ling and Ming struggled to handle their daily responsibilities while caring for Ashley. But could frustration alone push them to such tragic extremes? Returning to the investigation, Ohio was in shock. A crowd of patrons gathered outside Ang's Cuisine, paying tribute to the young girl who was taken so violently. "I just can't believe a mom would do this," one patron said tearfully. Both Ling and Ming were immediately arrested and taken in for interrogation. But as police questioned Ming, her reaction left everyone stunned. She showed no emotion, just an eerie emptiness. Inside the interrogation room, Ming tried to justify her actions, explaining her frustration with running a business and raising her children. "I only have 2 hands," she said, her tone devoid of feeling. "I didn't want to hurt Ashley, but sometimes you lose control." Meanwhile, Ling was questioned separately, initially trying to cover up what happened, not knowing that Ming had already confessed. When asked how she harmed Ashley, Ming's response was shockingly simple. "I just hit her," she admitted, and then she stopped breathing. Finally, Ling opened up, confirming Ming's account and adding that, after Ashley stopped breathing, he tried to revive her in a panic but failed. It was revealed that Ling even had a plan to cover up the crime. He wanted Jojo to see Ashley's body so that she could verify Ashley had been at the restaurant before disappearing. When questioned about what he would do if the police continued looking, Ling had 3 disturbing options: burn, bury, or even dispose of the body in the ocean. Ashley had become a problem in their eyes, leading them down this horrific path. The final tragedy began with something as small as Ashley not being potty trained, which enraged Ming to the point of violence. But what happened next is even more chilling. After Ashley passed, Ling and Ming didn't call for help. Instead, they went on with their business as if nothing had happened. As officers pieced together their twisted plan, they were appalled by the lengths Ling and Ming went to cover their tracks. When confronted with the truth, Ling defended his wife. "My wife is a good person," he insisted, as if struggling to believe what they had done. But the facts were clear, and the reality was too tragic for the community to bear. The case of Ashley Zhao left an unforgettable mark on the community, a horrifying reminder that sometimes the deepest darkness can lie within one's own home. In the beginning, Ashley's return to her family seemed hopeful, but small struggles escalated into unthinkable tragedy. The young girl lost her life over something as trivial as potty training. And yet, her parents continued on as if nothing had happened, cooking and serving meals in the very place where her body lay hidden. When the truth finally surfaced, it was impossible for the community to comprehend. The restaurant that was once a place of laughter and family meals had become a symbol of horror. Both Ling and Ming were brought to justice, facing the full weight of the law with sentences that would ensure they were behind bars for many years. Ming, who pleaded insanity, was declared mentally fit and sentenced to 22 years, with deportation awaiting her release. Ling, in his role as a co-conspirator, received 12 years after testifying against his wife. But even as justice prevailed, there was no sense of triumph. The town, still haunted by Ashley's memory, was left with a heavy heart, knowing that nothing could bring back the innocent child they had lost. For the patrons who once saw her smiling face, the emptiness was palpable. What was once a beloved family restaurant had transformed into a place of sadness, where the echoes of a lost life would linger forever. And as the years pass, Ashley's story remains a somber lesson and a haunting reminder that sometimes the unthinkable can happen right where we least expect it.